Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Rangers Review morning briefing. It is Thursday, the 18th of September. I'm Derek Clark. I'm joined this morning by Stevie Clifford. How goes it, Stevie?
Yeah, good morning, mate. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good week. Certainly been an eventful one.
Yeah, not half. Lots to discuss on today's show. Before we get stuck in, as always, quick word for our podcast sponsors, Willow's Fencing. If you're looking for a new fence, folks, and we're well into windy season, my tree, big, huge tree blew down in not my back garden, but a sort of communal area behind me. And thankfully, no fences were damaged. But if that is you and you need a new fence, folks, then please call Willow's Fencing or head over to their website, willows-fencing.com. They offer free consultations and you also get 10% off with the code Rangers Review. So well worth a visit there if that is what you need. Right, let's get stuck in then, Stevie. Before we crack on with some of the news, you were at Ibrox at the weekend. I imagine you'll be going on Saturday, where a protest is planned by the Union Bears. That they posted an advertisement, a poster yesterday, perhaps, of when it's going to take place outside at the main entrance at Ibrox at 4:30. It's a 5:45 p.m. kickoff. They've got the picture of Russell Martin and Patrick Stewart in that little red circle with the line through it. They've made clear their feelings. Of course, they issued a statement on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, as well, saying that there will be planned protests if the situation isn't sorted out. What's your feeling on it all, Stevie? Where do you stand on this and Russell Martin's future, if you like?
Well, I'm going on Saturday, Derek. I haven't been banned yet. I have expected Rangers to send me a wee poster like the Union Bears with my face and a big red line through it. But no, I'm allowed back. So, yeah, I'll be there. What do I think of the protest and what's going on? I think that people are entitled to their opinion. I think that people are entitled to express that as long as it's done properly. I wouldn't like to see it get out of hand. So as long as it's friendly and the message is conveyed in the right way, then absolutely. It's not surprising. I think that Patrick Stewart and the ownership have been misguided in the true feelings of the support and the depth of it, perhaps. I think they might learn that over the next few days. And as for Russell Martin, he's going to be judged by what happens on the pitch, Derek. And, forget the sideshow, forget, the walking hills and the swimming in the water and all that nonsense. Predominantly, what we're seeing on the pitch is why people feel the way they do. And let's be honest, it's as bad as I've seen it. And the players aren't playing for them. They don't look like they know what they're doing. And, the manner of things that are going on, Derek, I think that it's what leads people to where they are. Has it happened quicker than I expected? Yes, absolutely did. But I can't pretend that he was an overwhelmingly, positive appointment, because not many people were in favour of it. So I don't think many people are surprised we're here, but we might be surprised at how quickly it's happened. I certainly am. I've got to be honest with you, I am slightly taken aback by how quickly the fans have turned and the level it's at, because I will say this, in the time that I've been going, and we've been through Paul Le Guen and we've been through Pedro Caixinha, even Philip Clement, Michael Beale, when it did start to get towards that, none of them are at the kind of toxic level that Russell Martin is at in terms of fan feeling towards him. So that's been interesting and uncomfortable, because I don't think there were many people that would have been at Ibrox last Saturday and enjoyed that atmosphere towards him, that's for sure. But Derek, the team are not performing, so and they don't even look close to performing, and that's the biggest issue. So Russell Martin would have been given time. He would have been given a chance if we had even seen a semblance of positivity and good football, but we haven't.
Yeah. At this moment in time, of course, we'll talk about the Rangers Fan Advisory Board meeting with Thelwell, Patrick Stewart shortly. It's our understanding, incidentally, Rangers, as we'll touch on, are continuing to back Russell Martin at this point in time. There's some managers and agents have been in touch with the club, as is common, I'm told, when a manager is under pressure. But that's as far as it goes at this moment in time. So, it looks like that very much the end of days for Russell Martin at this point in time. Now, you may have seen that Fans Advisory Board mentioning yesterday on social media they held a full and frank meeting with the CEO and the sporting director, and they challenged the stance on Russell Martin's. The sun just shines into my window here. They posted a message yesterday, folks, which read, we had a full and frank discussion this afternoon, lasting more than 2 hours, with CEO Patrick Stewart, sporting director Kevin Thelwell, and other club officials. We reiterated the fans' collective strength of feeling on the performance of the manager, as well as other issues relating to the men's first team that continued to cause great concern to the support. Nothing was left off the table. We appreciate the club dedicating the full agenda to football matters and answering questions raised. Other items on wider club issues will be addressed at a separate meeting in the near future. The club continues to back the manager, a stance we forcibly challenged. Full minutes of the meeting will be published before the weekend. So there you go. I touched on the Union Bears protest, Stevie. This is the Fans Advisory Board. We had the Rangers Supporters Association reiterating their stance yesterday as well, or the other day. I'm losing track of days, to be honest. The message is clear here. I've not met one person that's still backing the manager, which is pretty telling, isn't it? What do you see happening on Saturday? First of all, I mean, the atmosphere at Ibrox, whoever's going to turn up will be... I'd imagine it's going to be pretty toxic, to say the least, as last Saturday was. What if he gets a result, though, Stevie? He stays in the job, doesn't he? What do you see happening?
First and foremost, I hope he does, Derek, because it's about Rangers and it's about, it's a cup competition. We need to start winning. We need to start producing performances and results as soon as possible. This isn't we hate Russell Martin and he must go out. It's not like that. Nobody would love him to turn things around more than the support. So personally, I don't see any signs that that's capable of happening at this minute. So how do I see it going on Saturday? I think the biggest issue for me, Derek, domestically is, put Alloa to one side, but domestically in the league, we haven't looked like winning any games at all so far. No. The only time that I say created, but the only time that we've done anything in front of goal is when it's become to a panic stage, and it's almost like we start flinging things in the box and we start trying to force it, and all game plan or tactics, whatever they might be, and we haven't seen a lot of it, goes out the window. So thinking that we can suddenly turn up against a Hibs team that performed well in Europe over a couple of really tough ties, I watched them play and I thought they were decent. Boyle, Bowie, they've got some good players.
Mulligan.
Josh, and he'll have a point to prove. And, they've got players, Derek, that will fancy it and will really, really want to come and give Rangers a game. And, by the way, their tails will be up. They won at Ibrox last time and they'll come and have a go. So what I expect on the pitch, unfortunately, Derek, is a very tough game. I don't believe that Rangers are favourites on current form and things. So, we've got a real game there. Mm. I don't think whatever happens on Saturday will suddenly change the fan feeling. I can still see, even if Rangers are winning, chance towards Russell Martin. If they aren't, then it will be ferocious towards him. Now, what people might know is some people in the main stand might have seen this, but the director's box was getting a healthy amount of attention last weekend, Kevin Thelwell in particular. I would expect that the longer this goes on, and God forbid it doesn't, but if it continues to go the result way that it's been going lately, then that will only amplify, and protests will only amplify. I think the Union Bears have maybe learned from last year when they asked people to walk out that was maybe stage 4 or 5 of the protest kind of incrementation, if you like. They've started low, go to the front door and express your kind of disappointment and your thoughts on what's currently going on. Most people will gravitate towards that, Derek, because it's an easy thing to do. if in 3 months' time we're still in this position and they're still here, then a walkout might be more universally supported because it's went in different stages to lead up to that. So I find it interesting that they've maybe learned from that and done something. I expect it'll be well attended at the front door on Saturday. I would say that although the Rangers support are never really universally united on things, as you well know, it's quite a difference of opinion no matter what. I think that there's a high percentage of supporters who will back their stance, even if they don't like the messenger. The message is why they're, is where most fans are at. So I would expect it to be well supported. I would expect it to be, quite forceful in that message. And I would expect no matter what in the ground on Saturday, even if we are winning, for the chance to continue against Russell Martin and most likely begin to start to head towards the boardroom and Patrick Stewart as well.
Yeah, a few comments coming in. Jim pretty much sums it up. He says, even if Martin wins the next 4 or 5 matches and loses the next one, the fans will be on his back again. He is finished as Rangers manager. And the point as well, Maka says, shouldn't they were doubling down their support for Martin, given their stance toward the FAB. We've seen other clubs across Europe, Stevie, making a change already in the season. I mean, Sheffield United, bizarrely, get rid of Chris Wilder. They went for Ruben Selles. He was a disaster. They got Chris Wilder back. Bayer Leverkusen get rid of Eric Ten Hag very quickly, and they placed him. Benfica get rid of their manager and bringing in Jose Mourinho. So those of you that wanted Jose pitching up at Ibrox, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but he's heading back to his first club, which will be interesting to see how he gets on there. But clubs across Europe aren't messing about if things are going awry, Stevie. Why do you think that Thelwell, Stewart, Kavanagh, Marathi are sticking by Martin here? I mean, what are they seeing, do you think, or why can you put in towards the reasoning why they're sticking with this, given the fan pressure? And it's not just fans, incidentally. You're seeing pundits in the likes of not just us as well, saying that a change needs to be made, but you're getting journalists that have no dog in this fight, saying that they can't believe that Russell Martin is still in position. Why is he still there, do you reckon?
Well, I don't want to go down the route of saying it's an arrogance or ego thing, because they're maybe doubling down, Derek, which is to stay away from that and kind of look at it objectively as possible and not look at from, because the anger of the supporter side would say it's an arrogance, refusal to admit that they're wrong, they don't want to look weak or whatever. Look at it objectively and take yourself out of that limelight and say we're only 5 league games into the season. Whatever they expected and what they thought they saw in him in the summer should still be relevant at this stage, so they should still believe in that. But ultimately, Derek, I think Jim sums it up quite nicely. The support won't ever be on side with Russell Martin. I've seen this at Rangers now, time and time again. And I made the comment before about Philippe Clement. It wouldn't matter if Philippe had went 5-10 games on a run. As soon as he drew or dropped the first one, everybody would be, this guy's a dud, get him out.
Yeah.
Russell Martin's not even getting that in terms of, it doesn't even look like we're capable of winning one game, never mind going on a run of so many. So what they see in that, I'm not sure. Is it a case of they believe that what we've done in the last 3, 4, 5 years and the turnover of manager is wrong? So they will try and stick with it as long as possible. That's an explanation which makes sense to me, because I understand that, Derek. I really do. But there's some times where you have to look at it, take a step back and say, right, this isn't right for Rangers Football Club. This isn't right for what we're trying to do here. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. So we can either, one, double down and write off the whole season, and we know how the fans will react to that. Or two, you let it run to the very point where there's no going back, and you give them a lengthier shot at it, which is fine in theory, but that lengthier shot at it on Saturday, if they go out the cup at home at Hibs, and you've now seen 4 domestic 5 domestic games after Hibs and only winning 1 against Alaba, then I think that would be too tough to withstand from them. But either way, Derek, I think what they've done is put unnecessary pressure on themselves. All the messages that were coming out in the summer was we wouldn't react to fan pressure. We are not bowing down to it. It doesn't matter what position we're in come September. We're sticking by Russell Martin. We are not budging. We are not doing this. And it puts themselves in an unnecessary position where the stance should always be, the manager's position will be dictated by what happens on the park. And that's all they ever needed. The message didn't even need to go out. It just needed to be, that's our stance and it always will be. And that's, that allows them then to act after 2 games, after 5 games, after wherever they feel. But by backing themselves, they backed themselves inadvertently right into a corner, which makes Patrick Stewart look weak, because by doubling down and just remaining in his, no matter how badly it gets, and ignoring the fans and ignoring their feelings, there's a weakness there that says, I'm going to do it my way no matter what. I don't look at that as leadership. I look at that as a weakness of, the best leaders surround themselves with the best people and are able to take a step back and go, right, this is wrong. I'm not matter how it makes me look, because I don't matter in this. What matters is what happens on the pitch, and the club is a wider view. If your stance is, I need to protect myself in all this and distance myself and protect me, then that to me is a weakness. So it's a long-winded answer, Derek, as it always is with me. But
I think they've underestimated the club here. Telling me what's going on here.
Mate, see, when you look at it genuinely and you look at how they've behaved over the summer and the kind of advice they were given on targets, the kind of advice Barry gave them on the handover as such as he left and what the club needed, they've came in and went, no, we're just going to shop down south. We know what we're doing. We're going to do it our way. They were given advice by a broad spectrum of people out with football, fans, everything. And they went, no, we'll do it our way. And we're 5 games in. We could be bottom of the league by the time we next play. We could be out of a cup. And everything that the fans have warned has happened. Yep. So underestimating it, yes. A stubbornness and an egotistical thing or an arrogance of we know what to do and they don't. They might know football, Derek, and I absolutely understand that. And these are businessmen and highly qualified and everything else. Nobody understands Rangers Football Club like the fans. Nobody.
Yeah, once you lose them, I can't think of any Rangers manager once you've lost the fans.
Alex McLeish is the only one that's ever
it's not like this. Not like this, Stevie. I always thought that.
No, well, look, just to journey back to Alex McLeish's time in charge. Alex McLeish done a double, a treble, and then he had the season of disaster when we were massively downsized. He lost McCann, Amoruso, etc. Newman retired, and we replaced him with Emerson's and Capuccio and everything else. And McLeish was on the brink. Remember at the start of the championship,
a 10-game winless run or something like that.
I remember being 2-0 up at a home game against Falkirk and drawn 2 each as well. And they were absolutely ripped apart by an agent, Russell Latipi, if memory serves me correctly. But if you journey to his next season, we got put out by CSK Moscow early, beating at Parkhead, and we went up to Aberdeen in the League Cup. And it was basically, that was when McLeish had the donkey ears on the back of the papers and everything else. And it was lose and you're out. And we went up there and beat them 2-0. And that switched everything. We went on a run in the league. Purcell started to shine and the team managed to turn it around. Yeah. Was it at the levels of I would say, unfortunately, hatred in the stands? No, it absolutely wasn't, because Alex had winning years under his belt. But he's the only manager in my lifetime that I've ever known that the fans have been like, yes, it's time for a change, and he's flipped it.
Yeah. Nothing can I mean, I can't remember if there was, I don't think there was protests back then at that point, but...
It was heading towards it when we went on that 10-game running streak. I remember it was beginning to go, and Murray came out and said that he's not going anywhere, didn't he? He said he was backing him, so it kind of died it down a wee bit, but it was beginning to get there, but it wasn't mobilising the way it has so quickly, Derek. I don't remember it ever being as ferocious and it has been at the levels it is so quickly. That's for sure.
Yeah, I said it another show, the other day there. Out with Rangers, the angriest I've seen at fans reacting to a manager at a club. I don't know if you remember, but 15 years ago, Steve Keane was at Blackburn, and the fans wanted him out, and I felt sorry for him because he was just kept in there. I think the Venkies were there at the time, and just for his own good, they had to get rid of him. Eventually, they did make that change, but it was not a good time for Steve Keane, and certainly the Blackburn fans back then. Craig Williams says, "You guys have great memories. My memory is horrendous." Good to look back at. Talk about this trying to change the culture when the takeover took place. I want the old culture back, Stevie. Going to win matches and win trophies. That would be good. So can we have that back, please, if it's not too difficult? And a big thank you to Bluebells Are Blue for this donation. It says Jim White has a poster of Stevie Clifford on his wall. So there you go. Do you expect that on the Talk Sport the other day there, Stevie? Your line of questioning. No idea what I've said it on the show this morning when I was on with Blair. I don't get what he's trying to achieve here, Jim White, on his show. I get it's a very clickbaity radio station and they're wanting people to tune in and call up mad to get clips and get listens and the likes, but do you take any notice of that?
Not in the slightest, mate. Everybody's entitled to opinion. I'm more interested in what Rangers fans say to me, Derek, and I've had a lot of contact, a lot of emails, a lot of messages, people stop me in the street speaking to me, etc. And I'm interested in that. And, feedback's been brilliant. It really has been. And it's also been the other side where people have spoken to me and said, look, Stevie, I think it's great, but you need, remember and not be so emotional and try and be. And I take all that on board. I really do, Derek. You know me, I go back, I watch things, I rewatch it, right? What could I have done better? Yeah, he's got a point there. Maybe I shouldn't have worded it that way. But do you know what it is, Derek? And I said it last night on the show. It's real. And it's not faked. It's not scripted. It's not for clicks. It's real. And when we walked down from the gantry to the press room last week, David and I, we were stopped by multiple people telling us we need to tell him, we need to do this, we need to do that. This is what we want to say. If we had said what they wanted us to say, Derek, then I'm not sure we would have been back in Ibrox, never mind maybe on court on a Monday morning. But what we try and do is be real. And I'm never going to sit here and say that, people don't have a point or it was spectacularly perfect. It wasn't. It was real. It was raw. But people like Jim White, having his say, he's entitled to his opinion. Does it affect me? Not in the slightest. Don't listen. Don't really care. Yeah. Sorry if that's meant to sound bad, but it's not. It's just I've not got time for it. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Love this. Richard says, perhaps whoever goes on Saturday should wear swimming goggles. Derek Clark.
I said that on the chat yesterday, remember? We're out on Saturday.
I don't know whether I'm ever going to. I was tripsing about Warrington late on when was it, Monday night or whatever, looking for a shop that sold swimming goggles. I very much doubt I'll wear them ever again. So if you're in need of swimming goggles, folks, they're a size large adult pairs, Speedos no less. So they're proper swimming goggles. Then do get in touch and perhaps I can send you out the pair. They're famous now, of course, after that appearance on Tuesday morning. But I would love that. If you turn up with the swimming goggles and the Speedos on, that would be funny.
See, Derek, see Monday to me, I don't care about Monday in the slightest. See that idea of going, out on a team bonding thing, and it happens all the time, but it's completely tone deaf. Completely tone deaf to the feeling of the support, the reaction to the support. We have to live that on a daily basis. And, social media, it was never, ever going to be received well other than, to be mocked for the situation we're in. I'm all for them going out and do team bonding and doing whatever they want, but pick your battles a wee bit better in terms of go and do something that's a wee bit more low key. Did they think they weren't going to be seen out in the water, up and down Connacht Hill? Did they not think that? It just to me was a little bit tone deaf and insensitive to what the fans are feeling and what's currently going on at the football club.
Yeah. I posted a thing on social media yesterday. I'm reading a book by Big Sam in Bolton and Bolton's time in the Premier League. And there's an interesting point that sort of stood out to me about the team bonding. I've got no issue with it as well, Stevie. If they turn up on Saturday and win, then happy days. But Bolton at the time, they're on a run, no wins in 6, and they were sort of tumbling down the league. Sam Allardyce and Phil Brown took the players to Lake Wildermere, and on team building exercises, they spent 3 days raft building, paintballing, toilet racing, whatever that is, and orienteering to bring the boys together at Leeds. And they went to Old Trafford and won 2-1. Man United then are not Man United of today. Incidentally, they're Sir Alex with all the big players. Veron scored that night, and they had all the big hitters playing, and they won 2-1. So
is that when Bolton had like Ricardo Gardner and stuff?
Ricardo Gardner, they had all those guys there, Gidney Bergson and the likes, and so there you go. It can work at times. Have you been on any team building exercises in the past with your work, Stevie?
Oh yeah, mate. I'm a iFest are a good team environment anyway, Derek, you know what I mean? So we're all happy. Like, not quite David Brent office style, but somewhere in between.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've been on any team building. Only team building I think I've been on is trips to the pub. Team that drinks together wins together is the old.
Did we not have a Rangers review thing like that? Didn't we?
We did, yeah, absolutely. So, and one coming up shortly next month, which I'm very much looking forward to coming up to. But there you go. I wonder what toilet racing is. I'm intrigued to find out.
I tell you what, I don't want to find out.
Imagine Russell Martin took the team toilet racing. Wow, that would have been quite something. But anyway, let's move on swiftly. At this point, I wanted to address Stevie with Saturday approaching. We'll hear from Russell Martin at lunchtime tomorrow, but Ronnie Spence raises a point. He says, do you think Raskin will come back into the team this weekend? Surely he does. But I said that last week, Stevie, who knows what's going to happen. You simply can't have Nico Raskin watching on from afar.
Is Nico Raskin one of our best players? Yes, he is. Should he be in the team, in the squad? Yes, he should be. So it's up to Russell Martin and Nico Raskin to ensure that happens. I feel like we've talked it to death, and I've obviously got very strong feelings on it, but I want what's best for Rangers. So come together, fix it. You know, he's back in training now, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be. He was there on Monday, you know, on the team building things. So get him back in the squad, get him back in the team. And, you know, from there, if he stays in the team, it's due to his performances, Derek. But what I will say is that, you know, Diamandi and Connor Barron done well against Celtic and then reverted to type last week. You know, we need to... Our midfield has been an absolute mess under Russell Martin. Do you know what will happen, though, Derek? Regardless of this whole thing and whatever happens, see the minute Russell Martin moves away from Rangers, Nico Raskin will be back in the team.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes of this situation and where it is. So I'm not sure he will be back in the squad on Saturday. If he isn't, it only increases the pressure on Russell Martin. So if you want to win, you pick your best players. Nico Raskin is amongst them.
Can't disagree with anything that you said there, that's for sure. Saturday is going to be interesting indeed. How do you see it going, Stevie? On the pitch, I mean. I can't see Rangers winning. Like you said earlier on, I just can't see them winning a game at the moment.
No, I mean, the issue is that we've got absolutely nothing to support that.
Yeah.
Like nothing at all. We've got no evidence of even the slightest bit of positivity in their performances.
Nah.
No evidence of good play. It's been very low. They look like they're allergic to scoring goals, and we're not even creating chances. So that's the biggest issue I've got, Derek. To suddenly expect us to turn up against a buoyant Hibs side who will be, looking for a result and, fancying a result. I'm not sure that we can expect anything less. But, you know, as Van der Hoog said there, we go in hope. We don't go in expectation. Any expectation of Rangers doing anything on Saturday for the fan base, I think, isn't there. We're all just hopeful. And I don't subscribe to the fact that anyone's going along thinking if Russell Martin, if we don't win, then at least it's the end of Russell Martin. This is Rangers. We all want to win, and it needs to start very quickly.
Yeah, I have no idea why we've found ourselves in this position. John Stewart says, hopefully Hibs it. Yeah, hopefully they do.
Well, there's
a
always a chance, like that Hibs do what they're very good at. But
yeah.
I think David Gray's a good coach, and
He
I
is.
think that Hibs are a good side, well set up, and yeah, if we perform like we have, Derek, then the result will be the same.
Yeah. Okay, on that merry ending, we'll say goodbye to Stevie and to you all for tuning into the show. Very much appreciated your support, guys. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You'll never miss a video when we go live. We've got a treat for you later on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have the chap on from the Chilean team who have got that tie-in with Rangers. So hopefully we'll speak to him a little bit later on. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, if I don't chat to you later, enjoy your Thursday, whatever you are up to. And we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.